Good morning, everyone. Welcome. All right. Let's testify to love, shall we? All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love began. Every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify love. I'll be a witness in the silence when words are not enough. With every breath I take, we'll give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. From the mountains to the valleys, from the rivers to the sea, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart will speak what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be the witness in the silence when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silence when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. Who wants to have some fun and sing with us? All right. Well, all right. Let's get up. Let's rise up. Oh, my soul. 1, 2. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Let spirit flow. Let it flow. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Let spirit flow. Let it flow. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go. Show me, Kenny. Rise up, oh, my soul. Yes. Rise up, oh, my soul. Rise up, oh, my soul. Let spirit flow. Let it flow. Oh, yeah. Rise up, oh my soul. Listen, you sound great. You rock, show me the kingdom, show me wherever I go. Woo! Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Let the Spirit flow, let it flow. Rise up, oh my soul. Rise up, oh my soul. Show me the kingdom wherever I go. Yeah. Show me the kingdom wherever I go. One more time. Show me the kingdom everywhere I go. I'm too old for this. God. Hey, come on now. Give the old man a break. In the wrong key. We let the love push over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy show us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it. Can I sit down now?
Yeah, you can sit down now. Yes. And if I sit down, can you still see me? We good? Okay, I'm Reverend Eileen Stulak. I'm the Associate Minister of Operations here at Unity Church of Overland Park, and I welcome everyone who's joining us today, whether you're here in this room, whether you are online with us, you are always welcome, and it is always so wonderful for me to be with all of you on a Sunday morning. And I'm sitting down, and I just felt drawn to be closer to all of you as we experience an opening prayer that's going to be a little bit different than usual, because as of now, I'm asking everyone to just kind of be in your hearts, make your own connection with Spirit within you, acknowledge its presence everywhere around us, and everything that is said from here forward is our prayer for this morning. Because today is different than what we had planned. Our world, our country is different than it was just a few days ago. And we may have all arrived with a little bit of a feeling of heaviness on our shoulders, or perhaps some heartache inside. And so I wanted to just take a moment to share a few things, to speak a little bit to all that is going on. And because I do believe very firmly that life and life lived can be a prayer. This is our opening prayer for today. And so I'd like to focus just for a moment on setting aside the rest of the entire universe and just focus on that one tiny dot, that minute speck that is our place in all of that. Just UCOP, and acknowledge that it's been a heck of a last couple of weeks for this ministry, all of us in this ministry. And so I begin today with sharing, just with sadness in my heart, for those of you that may not have already heard, that our beloved friend, congregant member of this church, Dwight Briggs, made his transition very early yesterday morning. We received word. From what I understand, his health had just taken a turn over the last few days, and he was at KU Med when he made his transition. And I like the way Reverend Jackie refers to that experience as someone moving into the radiance of Spirit. And so we want to pray. We want to hold in our hearts Dwight, his wife, Doris, and all of their family, and all the friends whose lives were touched and impacted in some way just because Dwight was a part of it. And so we do just extend this container of prayerful love and energy of comfort and peace to Doris. And then, of course, I'm going solo this morning. I miss my buddies up here, because Reverend Jackie Fernandez, our senior minister, as you know, she did test positive for COVID. She is still moving through her quarantine process. And I did just check with her daughter, Josie, who's with our youth today, that she is feeling a little bit better this morning. And so and also our music director, Fred Albers, this was going to be a big day for him as well. He tested positive and is still moving through his quarantine. I've not had a current update from him in the last 24 hours, but he did say that his doctor had very positive feelings about it, the next couple of days for him being a very forward movement towards complete health and wholeness. And so between the two of them, and also there's a few in our congregational family who are either moving through or have moved through COVID and the health challenges. And so we want to, again, speak those words into this container of prayer for health and wholeness and healing. We've had a surgery recently that didn't go as planned. It was a little bit more challenging, but all is well and healing is taking place. We've had another congregant who spent many months of this year in the hospital but had been released to go home, has been readmitted because some challenges have returned. And so we hold them and anyone else that you're aware of or in your own or circles. We just want to send those healing blessings of health and wholeness. And then on a lower scale of priority, there is the reality of the letdown of today, that we were so looking forward to having a rock and roll Sunday and a 25th anniversary celebration of Fred Albers and a reception for him and our annual meeting this afternoon. And so while that is so much easier to plan and reschedule, there's still kind of that, the air was let out of our balloon, because so many people, not just staff, but so many people did a lot of work to plan for that day. And so we just want to acknowledge that and put those feelings into this container. And now we step back from our little selves on that universal map, and we broaden our view to our country and really the world, where there is a reverberation going around based upon the decision that was rendered by the Supreme Court that overturned Roe versus Wade. People are trying to get their minds wrapped around how it is that five people in this country of a couple 100 million people have the power to strip away what has been constitutional rights of choice, very personal, most intimate choice that a woman, someone who identifies as non-binary or transgender, those who have the ability to carry a child. The choice to do so, to bring another life into this world, was just stripped. And it's not just that, because the ripple effect impacts healthcare. It impacts families. It impacts careers. It impacts physical and mental health. And so whatever feelings and emotions are here in this room and with us online, I imagine they're very similar to what we've seen, again, just being shared. There's anger, there's outrage, there is shock, there is fear, there is a loss of faith, perhaps, in our government, in our courts, perhaps even in our God, however that is defined for each of us. And so I just want to validate the emotions, to place them into this container and let this prayerful energy bless them as we be with them and listen into whatever is ours to do to take that next step forward. And I really appreciated what one of our congresswomen put on her social media page that Reverend Jackie had brought my attention to. And it was Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And what I'm paraphrasing, but basically she said that solutions to our challenges, solutions to our difficulties can be found in creating community. And how awesome is it that that's the exact title of my lesson for today, is creating community. And I did not talk with Representative Cortez. There is so much in life right now, so much. And so whether there is that ache in our hearts, or the weight or the burden we may feel on our shoulders, the best prayer that I could think of to offer today that could encompass all of that would be one that was offered to me several years ago, right before I walked through doors into what was going to be a very challenging situation. And someone came up to me, she took my hand, she looked me right in the eyes, and she said, "Eileen, God's got this, and God's got you." So would you help me close our prayer today by saying that with me? And let's use us. God's got this, and God's got us. And so it is we pray this morning. Amen.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God. Say blessed always, blessed always, for the arm of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God. Say
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you, Ken. And we also have Jade Harvey and Bill McKinney. And our interpreter, Stacy Storm. And our Reverend Eileen is bringing us a lesson today, as she just said, entitled Creating Community. So with the increase of COVID-19 in cases around the Kansas City area. We are encouraging everyone to do what you feel is best for you and your families regarding masking, distancing, and so forth. As always, we encourage everyone to be respectful of each other's health and continue affirming health, healing, and wholeness for all.
Okay, thank you for that. We have just a few announcements. So the first one is that our Yarn Blessings group, which normally would meet next Sunday, will not be meeting next Sunday because it's of the July 4th weekend. So they'll be meeting instead for their normal social group on Monday, July 18th instead. So if you're interested in participating in the Yarn Blessings group, keep doing that, but just kind of change your calendar up a little bit.
And we have some wonderful Sunday series coming up on July 10th, Unleash Your Creative Power. This is a 7-week series. Reverend Jackie will guide us through an exploration of 1, how the 7-day creation story is a pattern for your own creativity, 2, how it incorporates the 12 powers, and 3, help you unlock more of your creative potential. Jackie will also offer a class after each Sunday service from 11:30 to 12:30, which will enable you to explore your creativity through fun activities. No artistic experience is necessary. Past participants have expressed how this class has helped them release writer's block, create new processes in accounting, businesses, and enhance relationships. The class will be offered as a hybrid, offered here in the Idea Lab room and also on Zoom. For those of you participating from home, a supply list will be provided on a website and in the e-news where you sign up. A sign-up sheet is also available on the table at the back of the room.
Okay, and next we have a great announcement about a small discussion group opportunity. So recently, Reverend Eileen completed a 2-month study course on anti-racism and how to be an ally. And she is offering now a discussion group what she participated in was provided by the Anti-Racism Institute in San Diego, California. And it's based on a book called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acho. Did I say that? Acho. And this book focuses on areas of racial awareness, racial literacy, and racial action. And so there will be 2 groups available beginning the week of July 3rd. More information on the dates and the days and the times, along with the sign-up sheet, will be available at the back of the room. And you can also sign up online on our website. So if you're interested in exploring more about that topic of what it means to be anti-racist, what it means to be an ally, and exploring all that comes up for you from within and also in your observations in the world, be sure to join this group. I'm sure it'll be a very good experience for everybody.
Now let us speak our joint vision statement of the Unity Movement. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
Okay. We are going to bless our prayer requests now. And so I would just invite everybody, if you would with me, just to get into a comfortable position. You might feel grounded. If you're like me, you just need to remind yourself to get grounded. You can put both of your feet on the floor. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, but if you are not comfortable or if you need to be watching an interpreter, that's also okay. And just take a good deep breath with me as we breathe in and out and we're connected to our Christ nature. We have prayer requests coming all of the time, and we invite all of your requests, anything that you need, healing, divine guidance, love and support, patience, solutions, a willingness to just be. What's coming up for me in this moment has a lot to do with healing. And so there's an affirmation I'd like to include. I am open and receptive to the healing love of God within. I am open and receptive to the healing love of God within. Yes, with me, that would be wonderful. Please join me. I am open and receptive to the healing love of God within. And I'm standing here recognizing also that turning to prayer is a choice. And so in this moment, we validate this choice to bring God into this conversation of healing with us. We activate that energy and that relationship with God in this very moment, healing our mind, healing our body, healing our emotional state. And in that energy and activation of this relationship with God, that we can choose right here, right now, in this very moment, we can just be still and know that our doubts are okay, our fear and concern are okay. And when we're ready, we can also take those doubts and fears and concerns and turn them over and trust that this universal presence is healing and taking care and holding us all. And so, as Terry Swope sang for us earlier, we also can just feel the love wash over us. So I invite you right now to really feel the love wash over you as you just opened yourself to God's loving, healing presence within. And in gratitude we say, amen.
What would I do if I knew I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, not even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What could I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, not even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? do today if I were brave? What could I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would you do today if you were brave? Yes, if I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage whisper in my ear, my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, not even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What could I do today if I were brave? What would you do today if you were brave? What could we do today if we were brave? If we were brave.
Thank you, Terry. And thank all of you up here for being here and stepping up, stepping in.
You too, Rev.
Oh, wouldn't be anywhere else. Oh, my goodness, this month of June. It was one that we have been looking forward to since the very beginning of this year. As Reverend Jackie and Fred and I sat down and we were planning out the calendar, we just saw how much celebration was taking place this month. You know, it would be Pride Month. There would be the Father's Day and the Juneteenth holidays. Our intern at that time, Lily Sandberg, would experience her graduation and her ordination into Unity Ministry. Unity's annual convention would take place. Reverend Jackie would be co-facilitating an LGBTQ+ retreat out at Unity Village, and we anticipated many of the attendees joining us on that Sunday. And then later into the year, we found out the wonderful news that our former senior minister, Reverend Patricia Bass, was to be honored with the Light of God Expressing in Unity Award. And of course, we were going to celebrate her. And we would close out the month today with a rock and roll Sunday, a 25th anniversary celebration of our music director, the marvelous Fred Albers, have a lovely reception for him, and then come together and hold our annual membership meeting for this year. And obviously today did not turn out as initially planned. However, I would offer that anytime we can create a vision and manifest into reality about 97% of that as scheduled, as planned, on time, that's something to celebrate, right? And it's not too shabby to think that that other 3%, it's gonna happen in just 3 weeks from today, on July 17th. Everything has just been shifted. So, as Tiffany was saying, just readjust your calendars a little bit. We will bring that 3% home. Now, there is one thing about today that is not changing from the original plan, and that is the theme for this lesson. The topic is community, creating community. And when I saw that, when Jackie asked me if I could step in for this morning, it struck me that community is something that we have been celebrating the entire month, not just today. So we're going to stay with that topic, and we're going to look at how it's created and how the creation of it, the experience of offering it, can really be a champion of that spiritual principle that we ascribe to of oneness. So when you think of the word community, what comes to mind for you? Maybe it is some of the communities that have blessed us and or we've been invited to get to know better this month. You have the community of Unity ministers, several of which have joined us throughout the month. The LGBTQ plus community, both right here, but also that much larger community that Reverend Jackie brought to us when she was named one of just 19 national honorees of the Pride Personified campaign, ushered by Outfront Media. There's the Black community, whose history and experience led to the Juneteenth holiday, which Reverend Lilly spoke to just last week. The community of fathers and father figures. Now, of course, there's kind of a standard definition that we can find in dictionaries and so forth as to what community is. And in the dictionary, it noted that community is a sense or a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. And if you Google creating community, my goodness, you are going to be bombarded with tons of links with very similar titles, each and every one of them. X number of easy steps to create community. And there was one that I came across that told you not only how to create it, it told you how to grow it, it told you how to maintain it. Again, in just a few easy steps. Some of which were, for example, to create it, you find out what people need. You look for shared connections, and then you choose the right leaders. And then if you want to grow it, you have standards for membership. You make decisions together. You get like-minded people together. You organize events. And then to maintain it, keep it strong, make sure that you continue to make decisions together, allow equal participation, and I have no understanding as to why this one has to be on any list for anything. It says, be kind to your members. Well, of course, you're going to be kind, period, right? Now, it's not a bad outline. It's really not. However, when I read it, I didn't feel much oneness all that much. I mean, yes, there is a sense of it in the individual communities being created, but where is the oneness between and amongst all communities of people that are created? Communities that go beyond the commonalities that exist only between like-minded people. You know, communities that extend to include and welcome in the differences that exist in the diversity of people that make up the entire world community of which we are a part, the diversity wherein spirit resides equally. So maybe a place to start is to just ask the question, what is oneness? What does that really mean? If we go around the room, we could probably get different answers to that, and answers that might change over time. Well, I have a friend and a colleague here in town, Reverend Kelly Isola, and not long ago she wrote about this dilemma of sorts that hovers around oneness by offering, she says, while I affirm we are all one, it can be tough to define, to manifest it, to come from it, and to live it. Whose form of oneness is it? Last time I checked, all the people in the world hadn't gotten together to decide what we mean by oneness. What does it really look like? Not as a theory, but really lived, down and dirty, in the reality of my everyday life, where there seems to be divisiveness or differences around every corner. I want to begin answering that question by just turning our focus away, setting aside those three words, seems to be. Is there really divisiveness and challenges around every corner? Or do we focus our thoughts so much or too much on divisiveness and differences that can occur, that can exist, such that it seems like that's the only way, or it's what we've come to expect around every corner? Is it possible that we're really missing what is truly right in front of us and possible around every corner? Are we missing oneness being expressed without even knowing it? I think it helps if we keep two things in mind as we ponder this. First, deep down, everyone wants to belong to something bigger than just themselves. And second, deep down, Everyone wants to be their authentic selves in that process of belonging. When I was at our Unity Convention recently, I attended several presentations that were focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And at one point or another, each presenter in each presentation that I went to added a B to that DEI acronym. The B was for belonging. That is such an important part of community. When author and researcher Brené Brown was asked what people are trying to achieve in life, she didn't answer right away. First, she noted that belonging is the innate human desire to be a part of something larger than us. She then went to say, what people want to achieve, what people yearn for, is to be a part of something, to experience real connection with others, but not at the cost of their authenticity, their freedom, or their power. This is where I begin to sense and feel oneness of that larger community that I didn't see in the outlines of 3 easy steps that I mentioned earlier. See, earlier, it felt to me as if it was more about fitting in with a community as opposed to belonging to a community. With trying to fit in, we run the risk of being someone we're not. Whereas belonging, that brings our authentic self to the community, our individuality and our differences from others in that community, which leads to real and authentic connections and conversations taking place. It may be a step to creating, experiencing, belonging to that quote-unquote real community of oneness would be to know what it means to first belong to ourselves, and to know that this has to exist first in order for us to truly belong to anything else. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we accept and we love ourselves, warts and all. It means that we love and accept what we might see as our successes and our failures, our strengths and our shortcomings. Our shortcomings are what Brené Brown referred to as our imperfections, and she wrote a book called The Gifts of Imperfection. She has found in all of her years, all of her research, that true belonging requires all of who we are to participate. Every aspect of us needs to be all in. So it stands to reason that before we are able to show up completely in a greater community with an expectation of being accepted into it for who and what and as we are, first we have to personally accept who and what we are. Doing that and then standing firmly in your conviction when some, if not all others around you, depending upon the circumstances, believe differently, that takes a lot of courage. It requires not compromising who you are. Brené Brown likens it to being alone, standing alone in the wilderness. She calls it an untamed, unpredictable place of solitude and searching. It can often feel unholy because we can't control it, or what other people think about our choice of whether to venture into that vastness or not. But it turns out to be the place of true belonging, and it is the bravest and the most sacred place you will ever stand. Now, as I was writing this part of the lesson on Friday, what immediately came into my mind as I sat there with words like self-love, courage, uncompromised authenticity, solitude, searching, belonging. I was taken back to our first week of this Pride Month, the week where we were living out loud. And those 4 individuals who stood right where I'm standing now as their total and complete authentic selves and shared some of their story, some of what they have experienced, what they have lived as members of the gay community, and what it took for them to be able to stand here and share as openly and honestly as they did. Each of them were such expressions and offered such expressions of love from their hearts. And my prayer from that moment on was that somehow at depth they felt that they had a sense of belonging in this community. You know, those individuals, Reverend Brandon, Carmi, Swanhilda, Ellis, their stories have been viewed nearly 400 times on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I know for a fact that others' lives are being impacted in ways that are giving them hope of truly one day belonging in community just as and who they are. You see, we can miss the oneness of the greater community, the all of life community, when we place too much emphasis on what makes individuals and individual communities different, such that we begin to assume and believe and say that they can't ever come together. And I came upon an article on a website that's called upliftconnect.com. And it mentioned these kinds of relationships and unity with one another and the difficulties we think exist. The author's name was Azrael Rochelle, and she made a very powerful point. She noted how the world today may appear to be becoming more and more disconnected, with all those various communities I just mentioned, seemingly having wider and wider divides forming between them at a very rapid pace. And she offered that politics and the economy are two major reasons why. But then she invited the reader to just pause for a second and go deeper. She said, but when we look deeper, this disconnection and the political and economic machines that are moving people apart are ironically spawning movements, bringing people closer together than ever. People are uniting in their humanity, joined by their hearts and by their desire for a better world. Irony, perhaps, personally, I'd like to think that it's just a very strong movement of spirit in us, telling us to not erase, to not resist the differences in communities of people, but to build bridges that allow a smooth and ease of movement between them and amongst them. You see, oneness cannot happen alone. I mean, how can it if we can't even come up with one definition to apply for everyone? But we can begin to see it in all of its many and varied forms of expression around us, when the perch from which we open our eyes is our hearts. When we go beyond the templates of 3 easy steps, when we turn away from the noise that serves only to point out the differences that exist and how impossible it is to live with one another, and when we let go of that thought of beware of what's around every single corner. When we come to realize that oneness may be expressed differently, but its essence is always the same. Its essence is that of love and compassion, of listening, of sharing, of being in service to one another, of belonging. And it's easy to do that expression of oneness in our chosen communities, the ones that make up the vast part of our everyday lives. But we that are gathered here right now, and anybody that's going to watch this at a later point in time, we all know the importance of looking beyond, perhaps stretching beyond what is comfortable and what is known to us, and venturing into more of that unknown, that larger community of the human family that is still ours to get to know better. And that's the key point. We have got to get to know our larger community better. My friend, Reverend Kelly, noted that the experience of oneness only makes sense within the infinite diversity of life. She said, the treasure of my uniqueness only makes sense in relationship to the whole. And we can get to know our larger community. We can start to belong more deeply to it and to each other when we realize that we often experience the very same things differently. And when we allow room for those differences to exist, and we do come together from the heart to bring forth a goal that is for the betterment of all humanity, the thing that unites us. Kelly asked us to consider asking ourselves questions like, how can I help someone else find peace if I don't have an understanding of what it means to them? If I am to create community and be open to understanding spirit within all people and claim we are one, how do I need to be for you to know love? How do I need to be if you are to be happy and experience abundance? Oneness is dependent upon my relationship that I have with you. People are hard to hate up close. Those are words from Brené Brown. And they arose for her from the research work she had done prior to writing one of her books called Braving the Wilderness. Her research was focused on how people can come together across the differences that do exist between them. Now that word hate, it just has a very strong energy for me. I don't like the word. I try my best to not use it. And so let's back up from that end of the spectrum. Let's back up from hate and consider a pathway that leads us further away from it. Take a moment and consider creating community in your own mind, in your own hearts, from the spirit of diversity and equity and inclusion and belonging, of getting up close with others who do not look like you, who do not think like you, who have lived experiences very different than your lived experiences. And as you just begin to consider what I just said, are there any thoughts, any feelings coming up for you? Perhaps disagreement, discomfort, uncertainty, potential biases, assumptions, resistance, fear, guilt, anxiety about what is around the corner, wanting to but not knowing even how to begin. If any of that is happening for any of you, congratulate yourselves for being so wonderfully self-aware. That's the first thing that's going to get us going on this path. And remember that all that stuff that I just said and anything else that I didn't say but belongs in that pot, those are the imperfections that Brené Brown wrote about. They are a part of the total, authentic you that you bring to this table of creating community. Otherwise, everybody else around you is not going to see you. They are not going to begin to get to know the real, authentic you. And as in anywhere we want to go in life, it all begins with just one step. The first step, and it's the same step in this instance for everybody. Reach out to those who you see as being different from you, however you would define the word different in any given circumstance. Reach out, take that first step. And then from there, go to your heart, be civil and respectful in your conversations. Speak only for yourself, listen to everybody else. Try to see others as not as exceptions, but as examples of the diversity that exists in this human family of ours. Share your collective joy and share your collective pain. Release the phrase, at least for a time, that says, let's agree to disagree, and instead say, tell me more. Tell me more. And lastly, have what a Zen Buddhist teacher by the name of Joan Halifax calls a strong back and a soft front. See, in other words, be your authentic self. Stand strong in your principles. Maintain your personal boundaries, while at the very same time not losing sight of your compassion and your willingness to be vulnerable. See, this is how hate knows it doesn't stand a chance in your life or in your communities. It's been a wonderful month of June. It's been a challenging month for many people in many different ways. And yet, our community of UCOP, we're standing strong. We continue to stand out loud, and we know that we still have more to learn. We have more to be and become in our commitment to being an example, a living example of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And just know you can do the very same thing in your single individual lives. Just do what Reverend Kelly suggested. Just be willing to be all in, down and dirty in the reality that is this lived human experience. God bless you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. Open my eyes and see. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
There is only love. And I invite us all to take a moment to turn within to that love of Spirit in us, the love that exists between each of us and all people. Today's meditation has been adapted from a Unity Daily Word publication from June of 2019. And so I offer from the first chapter of the book of Genesis, where verse 31 says that God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. Indeed, it was very good. Imagine that you come upon a garden blooming with spring flowers. You take delight in the tapestry of colors, the aromas of various fragrances. And then, as you move closer, as you get up close, you see that no two blooms are identical. And your heart fills with appreciation at the exquisite beauty of the garden, and also in recognizing the uniqueness of each bloom, each one necessary to create the whole. Your heart now expands even further as you're guided to consider the human family, something even more glorious, more beautiful, more magnificent, for it reflects the beauty that is God. There is a richness contained in each unique expression of God in human form, a richness that is ours if we claim it. Take a moment or two now in the silence of compassion and contemplation, of acceptance and belonging, to consider that beauty, that God-created beauty that exists in each racial, cultural, and spiritual community. See each person as you saw each single bloom, as unique expressions of that beauty that is spirit. We rest in a moment or two of quiet. And now gently coming back from the sacred silence. May you be richer for the experience, appreciative of the vastness and the diversity in the world, willing to now plant new seeds of sacred community in ways that are uniquely yours to sow. May they come into full blossom and bloom, expressing the beauty that is God, expressing all that is good. And so it is, we pray. Amen.
There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
As we prepare to receive the offering this morning, think about the gifts, the abundance that we receive here at Unity Church of Overland Park. The gift of messages unparalleled that we receive from Reverend Eileen and Reverend Jackie. The gifts of the music that we hear here. What a wonderful blessing. The gift of community, as Eileen talked to us about. What a gift you all are to me, and how we are a gift to each other. What more could we ask than to be so blessed? So as our ushers come forward, let us say together our offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am joy-filled and grateful.
I'm just a tiny piece of the sun. I just want to have some fun. I want to rise each day, help light up the way. Sure don't want to hurt no one. I'm just a tiny little bird in the sky. I'm so happy when I'm flying high. I'm gonna spread my wings, yeah, do all kinds of things. I won't even have to try. Woo! And ain't no trouble gonna break me down. Ain't no worry gonna slow me down. No, I'm already home. Already home. Trouble gonna bring me down. Ain't no worry gonna slow me down. No, I'm already home. I'm already home. I'm just a tiny speck of cosmic dust. The same stuff that's in all of us. Hey, I know I'm free. Yeah, that feels so good to me. 'Cause spirit's where I put my trust. Yes, it is. Hey, and ain't no trouble gonna bring me down. Ain't no worry gonna slow me down. No, I'm already home. I'm already home. Oh, I'm home. I'm already home. Thank you.
Wow. You know how to go out with a bang there. Thanks for all your energy. We love it. Thanks, you guys. It was awesome. All right. So, thank you, Reverend Eileen, just for stepping in and just bringing an incredible message to us today. And I know you're out there watching, Jackie. I hope you're feeling better. We miss you, too. All right. During this month of June, we have been celebrating our volunteer group leaders. So this includes a lot of people. One of them is Lona Davis. I think you guys know, if you volunteer here in any capacity, Lona has stepped in on a volunteer basis as the volunteer coordinator. Isn't that amazing? So let's give it up for Lona Davis right now. And then we also just have a lot of people that step in to do some really cool things, like lead affinity groups or small group discussion, like the small discussion groups that we have in people's homes. We also have people that step into leadership for special services or events or other activities that happen here. So if you are one of those people that has just stepped in and said yes in any of those capacities, first of all, give yourself a little pat on the back, yay you, and then let's give it up for all those folks. All right, thank you so much for everything that you do. All right, do not forget to sign up if you're interested in upcoming classes. So again, the sign up will be in the back. And also, if you are needing another gift card, don't hesitate to stop by the Raise Right fundraising table outside of the exit door to purchase your gift cards for special occasions or everyday shopping needs. And then also just enjoy some refreshments in our cafe as we come together in community with one another.
And now let us join together as we speak our mission statement. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. Please join us next week as Reverend Jackie and Eileen will be back with Reverend Eileen offering an Independence Day lesson titled Inner and Outer Freedom.
That sounds like it's going to be fun.
And now let us welcome our children.
Morning, everyone. So today, me and Fiona talked about
love language. Today we talked about love languages and what they are. And there is physical touch, act of service, quality time, words of affirmation, and gift giving. And they're important to understand and what you like and to be able to make other people feel appreciated.
Yeah, so we actually made this chart, and it's a poll. So we want you guys right at our table, right outside our room in the back. You can come on over, and we want you to make a little tally mark of which one is your love language. And then if you have even more time, you can actually write in these boxes one of those, an example of that. So Fiona's favorite is words of affirmations, and she wrote, when someone tells me I'm smart, which is a great example. Mine is physical touch, and I like holding hands with people. And then her little character that was in there with us the whole time named Alfred, his favorite is acts of service, and he likes when people cook for him. So we really encourage you guys, if you just take, a couple seconds to just stop by our table and write down, because we really want to see, what our community, thinks of these, and everyone has, different ways of expressing love. So, yeah, please stand with us and join us in our closing song.
Oh yeah, feels good. if it takes just a little while. Open your eyes and look at the day. You'll see things in a different way. Hey, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than it now. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. When I think about the times to come, and not about the things that you've done. If your life was meant for you, hell, just think what tomorrow will do. Come on, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. All I want is to see you smile. If it takes just a little while. I know you don't believe that it's true. I never meant any harm to you. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. It'll be here better than before. Yesterday's gone. Oh, yesterday's gone. Ooh, don't you look back. Ooh, don't you look back. Ooh, don't you look back. No, don't you look. Ooh, don't you look back.
And now let's close our service together by speaking the words to our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.